salient point. The political events in Liberia as we speak is getting more divisive. Like you said, people are not going to vote for someone because you are uncle, you are auntie, you are sister, on relationship sentiment. That don't seem to be the case as we get towards October 10th. Because a lot of people are saying a lot of threatening stuff. If you're not where I am, it's going to be this. If you don't do that, you're going to be this. And so you have been here. I'm sure you're following the issue of Liberian politics in the United States. What would be your own take on that? Because that's the situation electors are faced right now. A lot of people are confused as to where they should be heading. All right, let me let Duke to chime in, and then I will come after that because I want to give him the opportunity to talk to young people. So I will allow him to come in, and then I will speak after he can speak on that.
Yes, thanks, Emric. And Don, yes, Don, that's a great question. Good evening to the people of NIMBA County. The people say, NIMBA is one of the most vibrant county in the Republic of Liberia, and a lot of our people, they're working on the farms and coming home in the night, to be able to provide for their families. NIMBA also happens to carry about 12% of the voting population. And so that means, second to Monserrado, it is one of the largest counties when it comes to the voters in Liberia. I like your question. This is no time to, focus on people telling you what side to get on because you're from the same county. I always tell people that Liberia is one country. We all are from Liberia, regardless of what county we come from. The issues impacting our people, it impacts every Liberian. So, it is very important that during this election that we put aside tribalism. Tribalism has not built our country. Look at today. NIMBA, by all of the metrics I've used, should be one of the most vibrant counties in our country. But NIMBA, just like Monserrado, carries one of the highest amount of unemployment for young people. It needs to change. And the reason why is that way because every time we go to vote, we vote because one person tells us, oh, we need to support this one, then we run there. And young people don't think clearly that it does not impact them. People will always tell you politics are interest. The men are coming to you, say, oh, can't vote for their party here and store. Oh, ain't from NIMBA, let's do this here. You got to think about your own interest. And your own interest, especially for young people, is the economy, is job. That when you get out of the community college or the university, you want to be employed. So I don't think tribalism should be the focus, Don. What should be the focus is how the ordinary Liberian, the people of NIMBA, your young children can be able to, come from universities and find jobs to do to be able to provide for you. I think that's the most important issue coming in October, and we want to make sure that our people understand that. Okay, because thank you very very much. Because it's going to be a very difficult thing to conscientize or to sensitize our people here that election is not based on relationship. It's based on the trust people have in someone to lead them into a happier day. But I'm telling you, a lot of people are listening to you right now. They might not understand it if you say you're not going to vote for someone because this person is this person is that. If I'm your uncle and I'm in the race, whether you like it or not, we expect you to vote for me. That's one of those reasons why we are going head to scatter in Liberia. Yeah. So if you follow the Liberian politics, it's yeah. So damn, this is where I wanted to come in. The question there, since we've been voting for our own since maybe 10, 20 years ago, what has it done for us? That's the question. That one major question we need to ask ourselves. Do we want to keep following people or want to keep following somebody who has
what it takes to provide
And you're following
jobs
with live on
for
Radio Good
everybody.
Shepherd in
Because
Nimba County, having an
if you
interview.
follow me, the
Emric and
question is, if
myself
you
on the
follow
radio
me
station,
and
we
you
got
vote for me,
thousands of
but I
people
don't create
listening
jobs for
across
you,
Nimba
I
County.
still
We
make
couldn't
you a beggar.
connect the
You're still
studio
gonna
live,
keep
so we're using the
depending on
audio
me.
communication for
So
1
do you
hour,
want me, or
selling
do
the
you
message
want
about
people who
change
provide
to the
jobs
people
in
of Nimba
Nimba
County.
County
So
far
please
away
listen in the
in the
back
place to
as you
have
hear the
policies that will
interview.
create jobs,
Just want to let you know.
where you can work for your own money, like we see in America? The reason why we got into this is because we know how a system is built. We understand that when you have people that can work for themselves, you have our young people that can go to work every day and make their own money. You don't control them. And this is where you see the issue of capitalism can go away. Once people are independent, they can work for themselves. They don't have to support their uncle who's going to just use them. Because most of cases, some of us, we understand. You will serve your uncle more than 4, 5 years, 10 years, and so you become cowboy, for instance. You become cowboy, and you'll be cowboy for 10, 15 years. Okay? But if you have an uncle who can think in a progressive way to say, this person has been a cowboy, but I want to empower them that they can move from being a cowboy to having their own business and having their own, what they call, to take care of their own family. Because people grow up. The children we knew 20 years ago, they are men now, right? But how do you look at that kid to empower that kid that you knew 20 years ago to make him to be a man to take care of his family and not begging you? Is to create opportunities for them. Because once they become independent, it's less burden on you. You're not going to have burden again, because the one that used to depend on you 20 years ago, when you put them in the position to take care of themselves and their family, they become independent and that burden going to go off you. This is the picture we are seeing with Liberia. So when we talk in terms of what Duke just said, to put tribalism away, it simply means that you got to look at who will provide the best opportunity for you to have your own voice, for you to have your own kitchen, to cook your own food, to take care of your own family, pay your own school fees for your children. Those are the things that we are talking about. And the way forward is to see people not from a tribal, lens, or from family relationship, or who can do the job. Doing the job is something that we have never experienced down in our country. I've been around since 1980 to 1985 to 1986 to 19, even when Jackson F. Doe won. When Jackson F. Doe won the election, but it was rigged by Doe, it was based on the brilliance. You won't believe it. In fact, there were non-Nevadans that supported Jackson Doe more than even Nevadans. I'm serious. Jackson F. Doe, Jackson Fiat Doe won in all those places. You know what he was depending on? He was depending on his brilliance. He was depending on his policies, those things that he brought to the table that could change Liberia. People voted for Jackson F. Doe from different counties. So for Jackson F. Doe, the late DK once said, the late Jackson F. Doe, they did not look at NIMBA as a place to say, let me use tribal politics to get the support of Nimbadians. They said, let's use policies, brilliance, intellect, because no country in the world can move forward, can progress with all your brains. No country ever done that. And we see in Liberia is the opposite. They are not brilliant people from NIMBA. So many brilliant people. But I feel within myself, the way Nimbadians are brilliant, I'm not Nimbadian. I'm successful in America because of the blood I have from NIMBA too. We have to admit. But then if you say, let's support somebody because the person from my tribe or because the person controlled me for 18 years, then I have a problem. Is what the person can bring to the table to relieve Nimbadians, to make them to have jobs, not to be jobless. So I will let you go ahead and then we can proceed with the show.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emric. You are in the United States. We are quite sure that the politics, the practice on that star, or the witness on that star, might be 100 miles away from that of what we do in Liberia. Now, as I speak to you, 2023, October 10, it's right around the corner. Another thing here is the politics we practice, especially in NIMBA. It's so much diversity. There are different type of slogans. There are different ways of looking at people that are on the opposition side. People categorize people, and it's forcing a lot of fears even in electric, and people are getting concerned and confused as to I want to go to club or when I do it, Peter will look at me ugly. I want to go to Peter. When I do it, John will look at me ugly. And a lot of people are in a confused state right now. Tell us a little bit of what you think should be the best way.
All right. You see, this is the reason why a lot of countries fail. When you look at politics or you look at governance, people will always intimidate you. But there are people that got to make the sacrifices for other people to be able to do good tomorrow. Some of us, we already know we are in this to bring about change, not for ourselves, for the better good of everybody, families that call us on a daily basis. Emery, can you please help me? Can you please help me? Kawi, can you please help me? We see enormous, right, stress from the family from back home because we so much love our country. You see, our success today in America is what Liberia gave to us. That's the reason why some of us cannot turn our backs on Liberia. So because we have this obligation, a patriotic, nationalistic obligation to Liberia, that's the reason why we got into this. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. I would never, ever run for office because I'm good to where I am. They say everybody got their area, right? You know your area. My area is academics. I stay in academics. If I will come to Liberia and do anything, I will be teaching at LU and Cottington and those places because I have the qualification to do it. And I support, most of my programs, I support education. No matter what political party you're from, I don't care. I support paying school fees for children. I don't care about knowing political parties and whatsoever. But we came into this because we see the stress and strain on some of us. We say, you know what? It would be good to be able to educate our people. If we don't educate our people, we'll have a lost cause for even 2020.
And if you're just joining, we're doing a live interview with NIMBA, Good Shepherd Radio. We're live on the radio station. There are thousands of people listening, and so unfortunately we couldn't bring them on the server, so we're doing the audio communication. So just listen in the back, and we'll keep going back. Emric and myself, along with Dan from the radio station, we're in the heart of Getaway. Again, it's where the tip got released from with Prince Johnson, and we're talking to the people. So hang on for me.
You know, when you work hard, let me tell you the truth. When you work hard in America, you get paid based on the number of hours you work hard. That's how you get paid. So the more you work, the more money you make. In Liberia, we saw our man and somebody in the market is selling fish, they're selling donga flare, they're selling this, they do that, they work hard, they don't sleep. But you know what? The business not growing. It's because of the system. So I will let Duke to come in and add on what he has to say about that. Yeah. Then we can move forward down.
Yeah. So yeah, Dan.
Duke, I'm sure you're following. I'm sure you're following Emery. Let's get you.
Dan, is a great question. What I want to ask you a little bit, and is on purpose because I want to make sure our listening audience are following and they understand why October 10th will be important. Dan, when you look at a lot of our mothers, our fathers that are coming from the farm, and late in the evenings to come home, I believe we have a lot of older people that's among that group, correct? So the reason why I ask that is, you know, for people to be that old and still fighting to be able to provide for the children tells you everything we know about Liberia, our government, and tribal politics. It has not worked. Because in developed societies, this is the time wherein our older people start looking at something we call retirement. And now the children, after they've invested in their education, goes into the private sector. They're able to create jobs, and even they have farms. Those farms become outlets for production that are making millions of dollars because of good economy. For instance, somewhere in America, in Florida, you got the old man that's been running the farm for a long time, and he producing oranges to put on the market for sale. The economy is good. His children goes to university, colleges, and start to graduate. They take over the family business, but the family business making money. But a lot of our old people go into those farms and into the long areas to go harvest. When they come back, they can barely still survive. That tells you that for all these years, The thing that we've been doing with tribal politics, it is not helping us. We got to change Liberia. Liberia is still one of the poorest countries in the world today. If tribal politics was working, we would not be struggling the way that we're struggling. But the truth here is, you go, you put your vote behind one man because you think you're from the same tribe or that your uncle. Then when you look at it, the country not benefiting, Nima County not benefiting. They do the bare minimum, they give you bag of rest, they give you this. It's not enough. The country is still suffering. So this time we have to make the right decision. Election needs to be about, how we can put somebody in the chair that will be able to cater to the good of everybody. I know this topic is one of the toughest topics that we will have, but sometimes we got to have it for education purpose. We know what happened to our people in NIMBA during the time wherein people were treating you bad because of the kind of tribe you came from. We saw what it did to the people. It was wrong. So when we start voting for people just because they're from Nima County or they're from certain area, then it's not good, because then we're repeating the same thing that other people did. But when we face the country and we elect people that are president because of the ideas, the way in which they can face Liberia as a whole, and not based upon only Nima County, right? Then we're yielding the kind of results. So, specifically to young people and even our mothers and our fathers, let's make the right decision, not because somebody forcing us to do so, but because we know that Liberia as a country needs to change, and we need people who can come in and do the work, and not people who will hold us hostage because they think that we have tribal connections and stuff that we need to vote for them. But guess what? When it comes to you, you finish voting for them, they turn their back on you. You're not see them till another election time again. They say, "Oh, our man, this your son here from Nima County can't vote for me." But all the time you get them power, you not see the things that are happening. Even with your children, we got to change that way of thinking, and that's what we're calling, so we can educate our people to make the right decision.
Okay, Duke. Thank you ever so much. Let's have Timothy. Timothy is my guest as we do the discussion. To Timothy has a question for you. Kind of listen to Duke and Emery. They've been speaking lengthily. What's your own question? What I saw you raising your hands up. What do you have to say?
Okay, I think let's say thank you to our guests from the US. I'm so happy to hear them tonight on Good Shepherd Radio. So I want to first say thank you to you all for taking your time to be on our air tonight. So once again, my name is Timothy Moses, and my question has to do with particularly with Mr. Nick AC. I want to ask this question. If you, even though you are not a politician, you are not into our politics, if you have the person this year, October 10th, who do you think you're going to be supposed to be the next president? Asking all these problems we are experiencing.
Yeah, Timothy, good question. It's clear. Like, I don't hide myself. I don't hide my hands. I don't play up politics or deceit and misrepresentation and hypocrisy. I'm not a hypocrite. Before I got into politics, I will tell you this. When I said I wanted to support a candidate, what happened? I started a business in Liberia. And what's happening in our country? Most cases, if you don't do something in Monrovia, the country is not decentralized where you can be able to spread out. So I said, okay, I will start with having a business in Monrovia, and then I will move on to other parts of the country. And everybody knows over there, Timothy, maybe you don't know, but everybody knows through my uncle Moses, Duo, that's somebody that I respect and I love and I care about. I was a tire man. And when you hear tire man, people that they try to pay Tony, I was a tire man. Yeah, so I did, we did that. My uncle was somebody who cared for us, and it's somebody that I respect, I care about a whole lot. Okay. He introduced us into hard work, working hard. So I know, I understand. And then whatsoever money we made at the place, we used to report it. So the level of integrity my uncle instilled in me was to have integrity. Don't cheat. Don't do those things. And I hope my uncle is listening. I care about him. We got a lot of projects. Yeah, we undertake a lot of projects. So I said, well, I don't want to be a politician, but I've come to a point in America where the level of success that I have is because of Liberia, because of the upbringing that my uncle Moses were able to instill in some of us. Okay, those are the things, the values, and so I saw in him. I said, you know what? I came to America, and because of those values, if I had not maintained those values, I would have gone off track to be somebody who was not productive. But then I became productive in this country, so I said I will give back to Liberia. And I run scholarship programs all over the country. And that's why I keep saying, because I don't have that mind to say, I only need to do it for people in NIMBA. I don't need to do it for... That's not my mindset. Any Liberian, if you vibe, Pele, Mandingo, you Gio, you Mano, once you need my help when it comes to school, I do it. That's the mindset, because when I saw my uncle Moses, all the people around Moses, they were not even Gio people. They were people from different, Frederick, Frederick, and they were all from different places. So I knew the type of value my uncle had, that he did not look at somebody because you Gio. Because all his friends, they were from the different areas in the southeast, and from this place and from that place. And so those are some of the values. Then when you look at the way I look at Liberia, I say, coming into politics, I don't want to run for office. I just want to be there to educate our people. I have a master's degree. I had a master's degree ever since. But the issue in our country is not about having a master's degree. It's not about you being a manager. It's about how you can bring yourself to the level of the people and make them to understand these things that are going on in our country. I play soccer in Campley. Anybody will tell you, when we play soccer, can't wait 2 p.m. the whole rest, they will tell you, say, nobody beat Campley because somebody like Emery were on the soccer field. Okay, and that's the truth. So you see, I'm connected to the people. Those are my people. It took a while to come back, because sometimes the timing is important, right? I thought the business would have succeeded in Monrovia. Then I will extend and open one office. The first place I was thinking about opening an office was in Campley, but everything is not going to go down the drain. I still have that dream to open something great in Campley. But then at the same time, too, you have to empower yourself. You cannot help other people when you're not strong. Okay, so I went through the whole program of trying to meet everybody, to know who they are, the kind of plans they have for Liberia before I pick a person to support. I met Charles Walker Bromsky. I met, at that time, Cummings was not in the league. He was not into politics. I met all of them. I met Joseph Yuma Puaka. I met Josh. In fact, Josh, we had spent time, he and myself play on the same team that weekend when we played in Maryland with us for a week. I put all of them together based on my experience, based on my education. I managed a whole department in this country, okay, where I control more than $100 million budget. Now, not one day anybody complains, say 1 cent got missing. Nobody. My job, they respect me, because Liberia gave this to me, because most people that Moses do, they say, Emery, you have to be straight, you have to be honest. So with that background, I say I'm going to support a candidate who will have integrity, who will have transparency, who will not be a candidate only for NIMBA or for Maryland or for Sanlo or for Grand Gide, who will be a candidate for everybody. Because if you look back to our history been sectionalized. Sectionalized means certain group of people from certain area like do only empower the group from the current area. And then what happened? They took that to come against the people of NIMBA. Then you look, Taylor came. Taylor used NIMBA to pass through. But when Taylor went to Monrovia, NIMBA was done. And I saw how many of our brothers and sisters, uncles, fathers, and so died. NIMBAdans died. I saw it. I saw what tribalism can degenerate into. I was a witness because I was there. Ome Mopela and so that my family, they all died. Solomon Seward and my family, then they all died. Today, nothing is happening. Nothing has changed. So when I took that position, I said I will take a position that will protect the people of NIMBA, that will push the agenda of the people of NIMBA. So let me tell you this. Everybody I met, they will tell you, George, everybody I said, what do you have in store for NIMBA?
If you look at our history, people come and use us in NIMBA. They use us. I will say us because I'm a part of it. They will say all the good things when you like them. They forget NIMBA. Then NIMBA will come out and say, then they speak the deepest gear and speak the deepest manner. And then people say, oh, that one for us. That what carry people in NIMBA. So when I met them, they can give a good plan. The only person who stood, I will tell you this, among everybody that I saw, or playing for the country, for me, is a win-win for NIMBA because NIMBA is endowed. Endowed means NIMBA is rich with bright people, intelligent people, with doctors, with engineers, with tailors, with some of the bright things you can think about. So when I say I want somebody who will bring an agenda for the country, because when you bring an agenda for the country, NIMBA will benefit because we got bright minds. How working people from NIMBA. I saw how our mothers went to Guinea for Donga Plenty and still cross over when the economic conditions and so were worse in Liberia. So my position to support a person was based on what's good for the country, because I know when you found that person who's good for the country, NIMBA will come alive. That was my support. And then the person that I see that fit the whole profile of all of what I want, knowing for NIMBA Ray, knowing for November for Kwamba Town 1985, knowing for 1989, was Cummings. And I picked Cummings. So many reasons. Cummings believes in the young people to have, you cannot grow any country in the world if you exclude the young people. You cannot exclude the young people because it's the workforce. The workforce in Liberia now, if you look at the young population, more than 65%, our workforce, they are young people. So how can you be able to exclude those people and expect economic activities in the country? That's the reason why things failing, because the people we like, they don't understand what it means to build a private sector. Liberia's problem is the private sector. You know, before, when you look at back then, the cocoa business, the coffee business, the sugarcane farm, all those things were meaningful, were making sense. We don't see those things anymore in our country because people don't understand, the leaders who pick, they don't understand the private sector, how to create a vibrant private sector. Mm-hmm. So I will relax my case and then let Du come into the give his info on that.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That was great. That is totally great. We are pleased to have you on the show. We suppose we are hoping that it's going to continue for the next couple of weeks as it gears towards October 10th. And let's go straight to our Liberian politics again. Like I told you, we need to, you guys in a foreign country need to conscientize how people in a way that politics work. Emily and your friend do. To be quite honest with you guys, the politics we are practicing right now in Liberia here, like yesterday we had somebody on the line who told us he's seeing something very strange in the Liberian politics this time around, because people are not evangelizing. Then the man asked, he said certain example, he said, hey, when you go look for a woman, the woman can agree the same day. We say, yeah, it's okay. Politicians need to be doing that. But instead of that, what they can do is, by the time they tell you one time, say, we movie can't draw us, and you refuse, you become target, you become the enemy, and you no longer sort of GB together with them, you don't eat with them. We want you to share the experience you're having in the United States when it comes to the issue of recruitment, where they say politics are interest, and compare it as to what's happening right now in the Liberian politics.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
That's a great point. Look, that's why we're here. You know, it's funny you said that, right? That, you know, politicians go to the people, the man agree with you, then you turn your back and you take him to be enemy, right? It is about consistently talking to the people. Yeah. You see, we're here today. What people say? People say, oh, Prince Johnson get NIMBA County. They say that, oh, he there with Jeremiah Cohn. Nobody should test NIMBA County, but you hear we on radio. But again, right? They play that was actually part of the news based upon a recording that was just released. We're here talking to the people on NIMBA because we say, you know what? Regardless of what the people say, we will still talk to our people then so they can listen, especially young people, because I think we can relate to young people. You see, in America, let me tell you, with all the challenges, everything is not perfect here. But the reason why this country continues to be the greatest in the world is because the people here understand the importance of putting good leaders. And even the time they made the worst mistake, they rectify it. When Americans made a mistake wherein they elected Donald Trump and they saw all of the problems it created, regardless of what political side they were tied to, they came together and said, you know what, this is not good for our country. We'll remove this man. We don't care if you white man, if the man a black man, or he from this other place and that place. No, no, no. We care about our country and how we can maintain, right? Our country, the standards that it continues to set aside for the rest of the world. In Liberia, it's a tricky situation. We see people that will see that the country is not doing well. Even the county is not doing well. Our young people are struggling in that country. Young people have been reduced to nothing in that country. Our mothers have been selling in the market for a long time. You find a woman today that was selling pepper in the market when you were a young man. You go back to the same market, you still see her selling the same pepper. Her business can grow the same thing she's doing. It's not right. So, as voters, as people of NIMBA County, as Liberians, we got to start thinking different about the way in which we are using our votes to elect people in our country. Because if we're not wiser, if we're not making the right decision, if we're not voting based upon the issues and how our children life can change, then we will continue to fall into the same cycle wherein one man would think that they got it. And one more thing, let me tell you this here today. What more the people of Nima County need to prove to Prince Johnson? You have already given this man wealth. Prince Johnson is a millionaire today because the people of Nima County gave him the votes. The people of Nima County have given votes to somebody like Joseph Boyka, and he was vice president. Those people have become multi-millionaires in that country. But your children are still suffering today. Your children cannot even find $1. Your son will go suffer all over looking for a job. They can't find it. Still got to run to you as a parent to fight to be able to get that child something. Some of you, your children will leave Nima County to go to Monrovia to attend Stella Marie's, the UMU, the AME Zion. And you still got to work on the farm to sell goods to send support for them while they're in Monrovia. It's not right. But all these things are happening because people come to fool us. We say we get our vote to one man because he our son here. But he's not looking out for your children and your children struggling. So in America, it's different. The people look at the issues. They look at who more qualified. They look at substance. They look at young people, for instance. Young people see a lot of challenges. They vote on this thing. And that's what Liberians need to do. If you're a young man, things are tough. You're getting out of university, no job. Support somebody. For me, I support Alex Cummings. That man's been invested in Nima County. He took his money and put it into the community college, the university. So he has actually, contributed towards the people of Nimba. But outside of that, it's not about the monies that you're giving the people. It is about leadership. How can leadership transform an entire county and its people into something better? And I think that's what we need to focus on, and that's how we need to vote in line with who's more qualified and how this person will be able to change the country.
Okay, 107.1 Good Shepherd Radio coming to you live and direct from a campus set of cultural conversation with Emery and his colleague Duke from the United States of America. Let's take a few steps away from this political discussion. Oh, Timothy, you have a question? Yeah. Okay, Timothy has a question. What is it, Timothy? Okay, thank you very much. I follow you so closely. I'm beginning to even stand out in my head. So thank you very much. Like my director said, I want to take you a bit away from politics. We follow you when you stage a tournament right here in Campley involving so many youth. Now, after that, you may mention on several projects that you will be undertaking. How far is it right now?
Yeah, thank you, Timothy. I consulted. I have a team of people. I consulted with Prince and James Matade. Right? We have to go full blast because when I say something, this is the way people with integrity. This is how they behave. When they say they will do something, right? They follow through and they do it. So I spoke with James Makade today, and a lot of our people, even some of my mothers, my aunts, my uncles' wives, and so they're over there in conflict. Today I spoke with them. I'm not out of touch with everybody. I stay in touch with anybody who wants to be in touch with me. I stay in touch, and I don't make promises that I don't keep. So I see that my grandmother, Mandu, she was into the healthcare. In fact, that lady lived her whole life into the healthcare system in Kamle that I know. Mandu, yeah, and that she's my grandmother that I love. I used to tease her because my gear was not too good, right? I would tease my grandmother. I said, "Speak of fire." So I said, "Speak of fire, still English." My grandmother could speak English, so for me, she used to speak the fire, still English to me. So that's how we communicated. And what's happening? A lot go on. People going back to school, right? And my commitment. This is how you change your country from from any angle is education. Okay, so I support a lot of educational programs, no matter what. I support it, and I just spoke with James today. Okay, some of the programs, one the educational system that I'm in collaboration with Prince Toba through his organization, YIMO, for us to because they already have the budget for education. And I'm going to support that. That's how I'm going to support it because I need a better person to be able to take care of those things. And so I'm going to support that to have the children on scholarships to pay their school fees. And I say, I don't care what party, I don't bring politics into that. Once you are there to go to school, good grades, and be able to, be diligent and go to school, and you want to, that yearn for education, you want to be educated. For me, education as a whole is a liberation by itself because I'm a living witness, right? Education helped me a whole lot. Yeah, I would say all the gapping that we used to go through, that education helped me. So I know the power of education. I know how it is. And one thing, I keep telling you this, my grandfather, Dennis, he wasn't educated, but he supported education. And I see most of our parents not educated, but they go to the market because they want their children. They see the people know the difference when someone is educated, right? Our people that don't know anything, they go to the market to sell and send their children to good school. You know what? Their form of education is different. They are educated. They got formal education and informal education. Our mom and partner like here, right? They are educated. That's informal. They have a lot of sense enough to know you need to sell and support your children to go to school. So the question he asked is a good question. I still support it. It has to be one because I'm not looking for money in this country for instead do it myself. We don't go to places and generate and go and solicit money and get money, right? It's what we have for us, and that's the sacrifice we have to make for Liberia. So we're going to sit and say, okay, we're going to do this for one at a time. We want to look at the immediate problems, take care of it. Now they know the number of children are going to school. But I think September or so, they already have the list. We're going to support it and pay the school fees. And any other project from there on. Once the children in school, then we're going to pursue the other projects and make sure we do it. Because when you commit to something, Timothy, you have to do it. That's how people get respect for you. If you say something and you don't do it, people have no respect for you. And this is the reason why I support someone that comes in because whatsoever he says he's going to do, he does it. He does it. Whether politics, no politics, he will do it. So there where we are, and we're going to support all the different projects, especially for school, Car High. And so my uncle, Joseph, Joe Carr was saying, we had a lot of projects that we should have completed. But since he's gone, he's dead, may his soul rest in peace. I will still continue the projects that I really wanted to do at Car High. I want to create a whole computer lab for them, for the children to get caught up with the rest of the world. That's project that I have. When I come to Liberia, I will make sure that project will get on foot and we're going to have a computer lab where the children will go and go to school and be connected to the internet and learn different things.
Okay. Thank you so much. Emery and your colleague Duke, when people are saying things like what you are saying, most especially from where you are, people look at you from your saying that maybe this person has some intention in the future. Do you want to help the people of NIMBA, the people of Belige, or the people of Liberia? Because in the long run, you have some political ambition.
Yeah, let me go on. Let me say this, right? I will be clear. The only reason why you see I'm connected to Belige from my mother's side, I love Belige. Belige created a sense of security for me. The whole group, Slower, the whole everybody, Anthony, the whole JT, or Patrick or whatever. I would name them because when during our times over there, we had great people around where I felt secure. But they get created a sense of security for someone like me, right? Let me tell you this: all my BMI will be when I come to Belige, you get temper with me. Because if you temper with me, you will have everybody to deal with. Even if Joe Fede Flomo, who's the Fede he supports CDC, but you can't temper with me, Belige, because one Fede Flomo or Gio Flomo or JP, they know that Emery or James Matari there, or NIMBA, or Taco want to, or Taco Gay. All of them they know that Emery, you not temper with Emery because the conflict brought a sense of security for me, where Isaac Matari there, all of them will protect Emery. You can't temper with Emery. Okay, so for me, that's my sanctuary. That's my safety over there. My safety net that Complete, I will tell you the truth. So you see, Complete gave me a lot that I have to see. P. Amadou there. I will call their names. These are brothers who will argue. Will argue, will debate, will argue back and forth. But I felt safe around them. You know why I felt safe around them? Because they saw my heart was a good heart. Good heart. So all the people in Belige, I'm speaking to them now, they're listening. Everybody, having no one there, the whole group, every a person, the thing there for me, I just value education, and I just me, okay, because from my young age, my baby age, I knew that education can change your life. So I'm going to push for every kid in Company to have an education. It's not late. I'm going to push for it. Company going to keep on protecting someone like me. I'm not running for office. I don't want to be a politician. And that's just the truth. So I will let Duke come in to be able to charm in and say some things of his own.
Yeah.
Duke, let's get you on the show. Welcome again.
Thank you. The stance that I take is based upon my love for Liberia. It is not, because of political aspirations. It is because we see something's fundamentally wrong with the country. And I believe that if you have been able to experience a decent society, lawfulness, if you have been able to live within the society that provides structure, and you say you love your country, then you have to make sure that your people are experiencing the same thing. And in every period, when we look at history, change and reforms are made by people who are courageous enough to push those change. And a lot of it comes from their experience or that thing inside them that shows that they have to be able to effectuate change. And that's where I'm going. I see young people in that country that are hopeless. There's no job for young people. There may be a few situations where some of our young people are misguided, but if we had the kind of society that was providing the necessary resources in terms of, it could be trainings, it could be economic benefits, then we will see a different society. But what kind of society only government officials are making more money in that country? What kind of society you send your children to school, right? Because education is supposed to be able to eradicate poverty, believe it or not, right? And you see that the man goes to school, The children spend the time in school, they graduate, they come back into society that still chastise them, that don't give them job. They spend all that time in school, they work, they do the assignment. The parents go on the farm, they dig cassava, they sell in the market. They send their children out there, the children get out of school, the life the same. You know how sad it is? Dan, you know how sad it is for you to send your child to school. That child does everything. And instead of that child creating a life for his own, then the child ends up washing car or being the driver for a man that's not even educated, but was able to get government position because the people in the community went and submitted a vote for him. You think it's right? It's not right. It's not right. Somebody or child that's worked hard, that's graduated from university, that's got a degree, should be going to the private sector and building a life for himself or herself. A young girl who goes to school with all the challenges in that country, gets out of school, should be able to provide for herself and her family. Should not, turn to the streets to be able to survive. It is a shame. It is disappointing. And this can change. Don't ever underestimate the power of your vote. That's why I tell people that thing you say, the people say, let's vote based upon tribal. Look, when you go into that voting booth, nobody is looking at your votes. You go and vote your conscience. Vote. Yeah, you vote for people who you want change. And lastly, I will say this here, so you guys can take back and ask the question. I will say this. I want people to be very logical, understanding when they're thinking. Let's put our tribal affiliation or political party affiliation aside. And let's look at Liberia. Every time we have voted for somebody based upon popularity, we have not gotten the kind of results in that country. Every time we vote for people because we say, that they person time here, that they old man here, that our son there, it has not yielded the kind of results. Am I lying? Let's go back to when the country plunged into 1980 after the Civil War. In 1996, 97, people took to the streets. The local charter, they say, you came my you came my pa, I will vote for you. When the people said, no, don't do that, they didn't listen, they voted. The other person came, they voted for them. What happened? After the election in 2017, when we told the people that went and voted for George, we are today. All of you can agree that we have overwhelming challenges. And then today, when all those things we've seen with our own eyes, the same old people from the same political system, then I hear some people say, that boycott where? Liberia problem cannot be solved if we keep voting for the same people who were created in that political farming system. The political farming system we have in Liberia is destructive. It will not change the country. It will continue to create people who are part of the same old way of doing things. You want to change Liberia? Put somebody who is not produced in that system with vision. That's why I support Ellis Cummings, because he is somebody who's produced outside of the dysfunction that we've seen. He has vision, he has a heart, and he will be able to transform that country, to give it back to our young people, to find jobs in the private sector. He has been dominant when it comes to private sector success. That's what we want. You just picture what's going to happen in the NIMBA country if we have a functioning private sector. Nimbayans are hardworking people. Our mothers are hardworking people. Our fathers, you go to the farm, the kind of work those people do, if they had the level of support and the government that was working with them, those people would be turned into millionaires from the farming. You imagine Liberia under Alice Cummings, and I can tell you this: if that country in Nima County don't change, if our mothers they don't turn the farm into multi-million dollars producing areas, don't call me by my name again. That man's got what it takes to change that country, and we need to put it ahead.
Yeah, Dan, let me just add on. Dan, do you know that most of the millionaires in America, you know who they are?
No.
Let me tell you the truth. They are farmers. I just came from the market. Just small bags of pepper that $45, $50 US. Small bags. Okay? Yeah, I'm telling you this. Most of the millionaires in this country, they are farmers. But then you see, you know that we do something wrong when the farmers in our country are the poorest people, right? The farmers in our country are the farmers in America. They are the millionaires. They are the billionaires. They are the rich people. But then if you look at it, the flip side, the farmers in our country, they are the poor people. You know how Many of our poor mothers and fathers that do just said will spend money to send their children to school because that's all they have. We don't support those things. It's because we're doing things the wrong way. My point there, I'm not saying don't support who you want to support, but how has that person impacted the farmers in our country? How? To make them to move from being poor to being middle class. We have not seen it though. I was there. I know how many of our mothers can go and do the rice, do the pepper and those things. They stay poor because we do things the wrong way. We have to change it. So voting somebody who has an elaborate plan or big plan of saying farming is number one. Tourism is number one. Let's put money into farming. Let's make sure if our mother can produce with their hands. But imagine if our mother can produce with their hands, right, and produce a lot. If you get in the machines, the tractor trailer and those things and support them, do you know how much you're talking about? Their production will increase by a lot. And this is why some of us came to America to be able to open the eyes of our people and tell them, say, oh, damn, we are blind, we've been doing things the wrong way. We need to do things the right way now. If we don't change it, like do just said, if we don't change it, you will vote for your uncle more than 50 years, you will vote for somebody who can speak you for more than 5,000 years, you will still be going through hardship. But my thing there is that how can I have somebody who has support will bring relief to my cousin, my aunts, my mothers, my fathers, my uncles, and those people that have been working hard to see that they're going to benefit from their hard work. That's the question I need to be asking myself.
Okay. Emery, Timothy is just signaling to me that time is up. Just telling me we got need to go. I'm sure Timothy is coming up with the next broadcast. Let's get within a 6 second comment. We're quite sure this is going to be a program that will continue for a couple of weeks, probably a few more months to come. But the guy is signaling to me that our time should be over for the first thing tonight. What could be your passing comment in 6 seconds?
No, but since this is the first show, I only encourage our people to listen to other alternatives. Listen to other people. When you listen to other people, what they have for you is then you can make a decision. So that's my encouragement because I know this is not the last show. So I will let Duke to talk since I respect people's time. I will just end it there.
Yeah.
Duke, Duke, I like your name. I read a story that was entitled "The Duke of Willy Wonder." So when I heard your name, I started thinking about the story I read way back. So Duke, let's hear from you finally.
Thank you. Hopefully the people of Bettergate, Complete can remember that name and vote, accordingly. But look, great show, and I appreciate it. We will continue this, as we, march into election. I'm confident about, where we're heading. But my message would be, my parting comment would be to young people. Liberia is a youthful country, and majority of the economic challenges that are being faced in that country are impacting our young people. So if you're a young man, and if even you're older gentlemen, you got children, you got daughters, you got sons, I want you to hear this. My people, you cannot continue to tie your vote to people based upon tribes or based upon who you think that, oh, me and the mayor, we used to be friends before. Let it be based upon qualification. Young people start looking at jobs in the private sector. How can we find jobs in the private sector to be able to change our lives? I think those are important things that we need to talk about and we need to educate our people about. But I am counting on all of you to think twice. Look, Alexander Cummings is the man that I support. He's a good man. He's a brilliant man. He has been there for the people of NIMBA County, but he can be there for the people of Liberia if we give him the opportunity to serve. And we can only do that through the votes. Young people, our mining are selling in the market. Our partner who got a little businesses. If you like business, if you like the private sector, if you're a young man or woman coming from university, no job, all the hopelessness you see, and you know it needs to change, then Cummings is the one that you need to vote for. because he's the only one that can be able to help us fix this problem. But thank you all. We look forward to the next episode of this show, and I really enjoyed the interview. Hopefully, we can get some good feedback from our people to be able to discuss more when it comes to the issue. Our mind, Pa, yo, thank you. Thanks for the hard work. Let's change our country, Liberia.
Okay, thank you very much. What we think we can do for the next phase of the program is we're going to allot some 10 minutes of your time so that you can get some reaction from people who will be calling to respond to whatsoever you will be saying. It was a pleasure speaking to the people of Liberia, the people of NIMBA, and of course, Benike Statutory District through this radio, Good Shepherd. It was a pleasure having you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
All right, my people, we had a great conversation on Good Shepherd Radio in Nimba County. It's complete Nimba County. We look forward to making sure that we'll continue to have a lot of these engagement. That's what we're doing on the back end in the different areas, making sure we're spreading our message. On that note, I want to say thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you, and let's do this again next